Welcome back to The Art of Plenty. I'm Amy McInnes, and this week I am not doing what I preach to do. I feel so done, and quite honestly, I just feel like tapping out of all of my work responsibilities. And I'm a little bit annoyed at myself about this because typically I'm pretty good at staying consistent, doing the things that I need to do. And I even had warning. I did an episode a little while back, and I'll link it in the show notes for you, where I was talking about knowing the season that's coming and needing to make sure that I carved out a little bit of time for myself every week so that I could stay focused and stay intentional. Because when the season got busy, I would be able to do what it is that I was needing to do in that season. Well, guess what? Here I am, smack dab in the middle of that chaotic season that I knew was coming back in the fall. I did not have a sense that it was going to be quite like this. But here I am, smack dab in it, and I have not followed through with what I knew I needed to do. That sucks. And yesterday was the day that I have been trying to carve out time, and I did not feel like doing anything. I did not feel like doing the thing that I knew that I needed to do, which was separate myself from the chaosness and just be really intentional about what it is that I'm supposed to be focusing on. I found myself getting completely distracted, completely off task, and extremely low motivation. And I was finding myself this week even second guessing all of the decisions that I've been making around work, all of the different projects I'm involved in. Just, do I even want to do this? Should I even be doing this? What I realized today is that I haven't followed through with what I knew I needed to do. So this is not a good time for me to be making important decisions about work projects if I'm not in a good headspace. A very good friend of mine had this thing that he used to say, and this is years ago. He used to say, if you're feeling stupid, don't make decisions because they'll probably be stupid decisions. And that's kind of what I'm sitting with today. Don't make any decisions related to work projects, because that's the part that I'm struggling with right now, because you're not really in a good headspace. And if you make decisions in this bad headspace, you may not make the right decisions that you need to. So before you make those decisions, you need to step back. Talking to myself right now, I need to step back and do the thing that I knew I needed to do, which was be intentional and carve time out for being intentional so that I can stay focused and I have the stamina and the energy for the busy season. Because guess what? It's about to get a lot busier. Christmas is right around the corner. And along with all of the joy and the fun and the excitement, there are a lot of extra activities and things that I need to do that are outside of work, that are just family life stuff that I need to fit in, and more work tasks and more work things related to Christmas stuff, such as thinking about work holidays for staff and are we doing anything to get together with the team? All of those things that automatically happen, which are great, but Christmas just takes up more bandwidth, more space than other seasons do. It's certainly a more intense time for mothers. And I'm not in a great headspace. So now what? Well, I know I need to get back into what I was planning on doing before, which is carving out a little bit of time. I need to let go of the things that I really want to do, which is I have these creative projects that I have had sitting in my room. I have a this cloth bag, which I absolutely love. And inside of it is a pair of pants that it's all pinned. And I've been wanting to sew it, but it's been over a year and I haven't got to it. And I have a painting that's half done that's sitting on another space that it's just taking up room because I have these creative endeavors that I haven't had time to put attention to, even though I really want to. And I kind of thought that I would be able to get to it in the fall, and I haven't. I have not had time to get to those creative endeavors, which bothers me because I really enjoy doing that. But I've decided today that I have to push all of those creative endeavors into the new year because it's Christmas and I have too many responsibilities that I need to do. So I'm going to have to get my creative fix somehow in Christmas, which is easy because there's so many opportunities to be creative at Christmas. So I'm going to tick off in my mind because those things have been weighing on my mind like, oh, am I going to get time to sew? Oh, I want to do this. They've been rolling around in my brain, which takes up bandwidth. So I've decided I'm going to compartmentalize that and pull those things out. So now that I know they're off the table, even though I see the basket and I see the painting, I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think about when am I going to have time because I know I'm not going to have time. So I'm just going to let it go. That's how I'm putting my best foot forward because I need to have my best foot forward going into Christmas season because I have a lot to do and I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy Christmas this year. And for me to enjoy Christmas, I have to get all my stuff done and I have to get all my work stuff done and I have to get our family stuff done and I have to be on my game. Because if I can get everything done and organized, then I can be with my family and do all of the activities that we love to do around Christmas time. But what about work? Do you find that work takes a back seat in seasons that are busy and hectic for you? And is that okay? I've been mulling this question over in my mind. Is it okay for work to take a back seat when life gets crazy? Because it's not just Christmas that has a way of doing this. It's also when people are sick with significant illness. I'm not talking like the flu or the cold, right? A flu or a cold, yeah, maybe you're off your game for a day or two, but you get back at it and you maybe are working a little bit slow, but work's not at the back seat. But when you have a parent that gets ill, it's really hard to stay focused throughout the day to get your stuff done. Because our lives are integrated. We don't just take our emotional self related to our family and our life and leave it at home when we go to work. That emotional stuff comes with us. And even if it's not at the forefront of our mind, it's still living in our mind. It's still taking up space. Just like that painting is taking up space in my mind. When I see it, I just keep thinking, oh, I want to get to that. Oh, I want to finish that. It's sitting there creating pressure. And so by pushing that painting into the new year, when I see it now, I know I'm not going to have to think about that. But you can't do that the same way when somebody you love isn't doing okay. Or when there are things in your personal life that, like maybe a fight or maybe strain within your relationship that are impacting you. That stress, that turmoil, that angst comes to work with you. And it's no different than the Christmas pressures. When Christmas is busy and hairy and all of those things going on that we have to do, especially if you're moms like me, how do you stay present, stay focused, stay engaged at work? And is it okay if you're not? I've been wrestling with this question because I'm an entrepreneur, right? And I have employees. And what is the expectation for employees? Are they expected to be at their best all the time? I know as a human being that's completely unreasonable and it's completely unrealistic. I don't show up as doing my best work all the time. It's 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 kind of like when you go to the gym. And I never realized this when I first started working out. When I first started working out, I thought, okay, I'm just going to get better every day. I'm going to have more stamina. I'm going to have more energy. I'm going to get less sore and I'm going to get stronger. But the more I worked out and the longer I've worked out, the more I've realized there are some days when I show up at the gym and I can't lift what I could lift the day before. Or I don't have the stamina for a workout. And other days I show up and I have an insane amount of stamina. And it's because we're different every day. It has to do with how we're sleeping and how we're eating. And there's so many different components and we certainly can't control all of them all the time. So as an employer, when I think about my staff, I think, people are not going to be at their best working self every day. And is that okay? Is it okay to show up to work and not be at your best? Because that's a human reality. So how do we deal with that? What do we do with that? Because Christmas is a season, especially for moms, where we got a lot going on. And there's this desire to just kind of, at least on my end, I'm speaking for myself here, people. I don't want to think about work right now. I feel so done with work. I want to hit like a blackout button where work just blacks out and I don't have to think about it anymore and it doesn't have to take up any time or any space because I don't want to. I don't ever want to work in December because honestly, there's too much going on and I really want to enjoy being with my kids and I want to do all the fun stuff. I would love to never work in December, but that isn't a reality for me. So I know I have to work. Even though I really do want that blackout button. So what should the expectation be for people? When you're not at your best game, what should happen at work? How do we do that? Because there's an element of integrity there, right? Where you're getting paid to do certain tasks and you're getting paid to do those tasks well, hopefully. Hopefully you do them well and you do your work well. And so where does that leave us when we've got a lot going on? How do we show up in all of these different areas of our life? This is a quandary that I guess I don't really have the solution for. I don't even know if it's something that we need a solution for. I think it's just this realization, maybe more so than a solution, the realization that we're not always going to be on our best. We're not always going to be doing our best. So how do we stay engaged? Because I feel like right now I'm not really honoring my work. Even before all of the Christmas components that I know are coming in my way and that I'm getting into the thick of, even before that, I feel really overwhelmed because I haven't done what I knew I needed to do. So now what? How am I going to approach this season? How am I going to walk with integrity at work and do the things that I'm supposed to do? Because honestly, even though there are seasons where we're maybe not able to put our best foot forward at work, we still have to put our best foot forward for that time at that limited capacity. And maybe that's what it's about. It's always doing our best with the capacity that we have at that moment. So if I take that back to our gym example, there may be days where I can't lift as much as I used to as I normally lift, or I'm maybe not feeling like I'm going on a trajectory like this, but my trajectory is up and down. I'm moving my hand like a wave if you're not watching this on YouTube and you're listening on Spotify or on Apple. So the trajectory isn't always a steady climb, but on those days where my capacity is less and for whatever reason, whether there's lots going on or it's Christmas and my capacity is somewhat limited, in my limited capacity, can I do my best? Can I put the effort into my workout and do the best that I can do? And that feels like a yes to me. I feel like even in limited capacity, I can still do my best. And if I'm doing my best, then I'm honoring my work. I'm honoring the people I'm working alongside with. I'm honoring the clients. I'm honoring the work that I'm doing because I'm doing my best, even if my best today isn't as good as my best from 2 weeks ago or as my best will be 4 weeks from now. I think that's maybe the solution. So that's where I'm going today. That is what I am taking with me into the rest of this Christmas season. That, yeah, I've got a lot going on and my capacity is changing and it's shifting day to day and even in this season. But I'm going to do my best wherever it is that I am. So if I'm at work, I'm going to do the best that I can do while I'm at work. If I'm at home with the kids, I'm going to do my best to stay connected with them and continue to honor the space that I'm in. That seems to me to be the way forward. Is this speaking to you? It's speaking to me. Sometimes I work things out through talking. You know how there's two different kinds of people? Well, there's a lot of different kinds of people. But one way we could split people and the ways people are is there are people who talk to think, and there are other people who think and then talk. I don't know what I am, but today I am most certainly a person who talks it out, and through the process of talking, the thoughts come. I'm probably always like that. There are some times when I say things and my mind is listening to the words coming out of my mouth, thinking, oh, that's a good idea. Where did that thought come from? It's a way of getting to solutions. I just talk it out. And I'm not the only one like this. I've got a brother that is very much so like this. And I have a husband who's very much not like this. He does not talk out his thoughts. He has thoughts and then he shares them and talks about them later. But I'm sure he can do both. I'm sure everybody can do both. I think we more so just have a default way of being. So this was really helpful for me today because I've worked out some things that I have wondered about over the years, and I feel very settled in my spirit now as an entrepreneur and as a worker and as a mom. I feel very grounded in knowing how I can approach different days based on my capacity, that I can still feel like I'm working with integrity and I can still feel like I'm honoring the people that I'm in relationship with, both vocationally and personally. And that feels like a win. So I'm jacked. I hope this is speaking to you too, and not just me. Send me a DM if it is, because I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Or if you're one of those people who is a thinker and then a talker, or if you're a talker then a thinker. This podcast is about entertainment only. And if you're feeling like I need more than this, my life isn't doing okay, please reach out to someone that can help. I can't help but say this. I think it's the counselor in me that I want people to be okay. So please reach out if you need help. talking with someone is a great way to get into a better space, both mentally and emotionally. Leave reviews, hit subscribe, all of those things. It matters to me that you're here, and it matters to me that you're showing up. So thank you. Thank you for tuning in.